By Blood, Chapter 2. Oh shit, how long have you been here? Good morning to you too. Dawson raised an eyebrow as he watched AJ shuffle into the office and put down her keys. I got your voicemail, so I got here as soon as I woke up. Oh, you're a lifesaver, Dawson. AJ put her hand on his back as she looked at the desk, the mass of chaos having been reduced to neat piles of forms and structure. I could use a coffee, he said. Didn't really want to touch anything while you weren't here. What are you talking about? You're welcome here any time, AJ smiled, before heading for the coffee machine. Especially if you're going to be saving my ass like this. Well, you've saved mine plenty of times. AJ chuckled. I don't know if that's true. After a few seconds, she turned to put a mug of hot coffee in front of him, then headed for her own desk and flopped down onto her chair. How's it looking? The taxes? About the same as last quarter. That corporate gig really helped, though. You gotta stop taking so many private cases for practically nothing. It's portfolio, unfortunately, AJ sighed as she typed in her password. I had the same thing when I started the DC office. They don't give you the high-paying gigs up front. You gotta build up some clientele first. Who's running that now? Luke Beaumont, my second in command. Is he that guy? AJ followed Dawson's nod to a group picture on the wall. AJ, Tyche, Luke, and Hannah. That's the one. Military? Mm-hmm. Active duty, then MP, then private investigation. His hand is on your waist. I'm assuming there's some history there? AJ chuckled. Luke and I spent a lot of hours together on cases. We became close. Dawson turned back to the papers. AJ's nostalgic smile faded as she realized what had happened. And the events of the night before in this very office caught up to her. Hey, have you talked to Mia at all? Didn't she come here last night to drop off some food? Yeah, AJ nodded. She got some spasms in her back. It looked painful. Dawson nodded, almost routinely. It happens. Good thing she didn't get it when she was in the kitchen. AJ frowned at the choice of words. Then again, that bluntness was mainly how Dawson communicated. A fact she was mostly grateful for. In a world of liars and dancing around the truth to spare people's feelings, his openness was a breath of fresh air. But when it came to people she cared about, mainly Mia and Foster, she didn't particularly appreciate the tone. I dropped her off at home. One of her wheels got busted. She has a spare at home. AJ nodded, realizing Dawson had his nose back in the documents and one eye still trained on the picture frame on the wall. It was clear she wasn't going to get much more conversation out of him. No, Jesus, it's already awkward enough. So what's your plan? Never walk into her again? Ugh, Mia threw her head back. Can I just avoid her until you're back? What did she say when you apologized for kissing her? Mia only grumbled. Mia, she said that I had nothing to apologize for, but she also said it wasn't going to work. AJ is literally the straightest person I can think of, Mia. Foster took a deep breath on the other side of the line. It sucks, but you know how much Ty struggled with her mother and her sexuality. Obviously, she doesn't blame you for anything, but I wouldn't push it if I were you. I got it, which is why I'm going to avoid her until you and Ty are back. Foster hummed. Can I tell her about this? Not if she's going to tell AJ anything. You know she won't. No, I don't, actually, Mia sighed. But you're right. I just gotta get over it. I was tipsy. I did something stupid. Don't dismiss your feelings, Mia. If you like her, you can. I gotta go. Enjoy London, okay? Mia, hang. Beep. Mia disconnected the call and put her phone down on the table, silently cursing herself for ruining the friendship she'd so desperately craved to keep. She stared down at her legs, pulling herself up from her chair to stand. She'd made enough recovery progress to where she could stand up for a few seconds, sometimes a full minute, if she supported herself. It was useful for stove and grill work, but exerting herself often made things worse. Fucking legs, she thought. Fucking useless. A text message made her look up to her phone. She assumed it was Foster and intended to leave her on read, but then saw it was Dawson. You okay? She stared at her screen. Him checking in meant that he knew that something was up, which meant that he knew about what happened last night, which meant he'd talk to AJ. No doubt to go fix up the tax stuff. And the last thing she wanted was her brother to rub the rejection into her face. Fine, she typed back. Do you want me to call Jake to handle the kitchen tonight? She scoffed. Of course, that's what he would want. Her staying at her apartment being lonely and miserable. No, I got it. I'll be there at 12. She threw her phone back down onto the table and sat down, already feeling the strain in her core. She knew there was a big chance that Foster would tell Tyche anyway. She'd counted on it. But she needed someone to be mad at, and Foster not respecting her wishes was a perfect target. As long as she didn't bump into AJ today, things would be okay. Where's the wings? I told you 7 minutes, 4 minutes ago. Dawson grunted. What are you snapping at me for? Because you can't listen to basic instructions. They'll be ready in 3 fucking minutes. Dawson rolled his eyes at her. I told you to stay home if you were going to get upset. I'm not fucking upset, Mia yelled back. 3 minutes. Her brother slapped down the next order ticket and headed back to the bar. Mia cursed under her breath as she moved to plate a burger. It was a Friday, and they were much more swamped than yesterday. Dawson had the advantage of being front of house, so he could charm people and buy some extra patience. Mia was getting swallowed in orders. But Dawson had offered her help by calling in another cook, and she had refused, so it was her cross to bear. Her mind wandered to AJ and Dawson, alone at Olympus, laughing over the tax work, laughing over how ridiculous it was that Mia kissed her, like she even remotely had a chance. Foster had been absolutely right. AJ was straight, almost painfully so. She'd heard the stories about her and Luke back in DC, the guy she dated in high school and college, even some hotshot guy that was now in Congress. What would a crippled bar cook ever do for her? The timer of the fryer snapped her out of her pity party. She pulled out the wings, perfectly cooked and crispy, and plated them, wheeled towards the service window, and slammed on the bell. There's your 3 minutes. As she turned around to prep the next ticket, she heard a voice behind her. You're doing great. Mia glanced back to see AJ at the window, smiling at her as she reached for the plates. What are you doing here? Dawson called me. Said you guys could use some extra help. Hang on. Mia continued cooking as AJ served the food. Then reappeared into the kitchen fully, a bar towel slung across her shoulder nonchalantly, making her look incredible. Mia swallowed the thought. I know I'm not the best cook, but if you need help here... No, I'm good. Are you sure? Dawson can't cook either, so he shouldn't be telling me what to do. AJ noticed the sting in Mia's words and nodded quickly. You're right. You're the chef. You tell me what to do. I just want to help if I can. I don't need you here, Mia said, as she reached for some boneless wings and began to coat them. I'm fine. AJ tilted her head. Are you okay? Mia didn't respond. AJ didn't need to be a detective to know what was happening. Is this about last night? No, everything's fine. I was drunk anyway. It didn't mean anything. AJ flinched at the words. Mia didn't notice. Right. Well, I'll leave you to it. I just let me know if there's anything I can do. I'm sure he needs you, Mia said. Go help out there. Without another word, AJ slipped out of the kitchen. When the door closed behind her, Mia wiped angrily at the tears in her eyes. Not now. Later. Thank God Foster wasn't home, so she could have a breakdown all alone.